What we're going to do on this video is go over the global and the shopping member residual rebate system calculator. Now the calculator is put together because it's one of the fastest way to learn about the rebate system. You can either look at all the videos, which we have lots of, you can read some more, you can ask lots of questions, or you can not do any of that and just go ahead and do a lot of shopping, and at each month you'll start to get rebates back, and then you can start to understand where they're coming from. But what we don't want you to do is lose out. So by going through the calculator, what you can do is learn some of the smaller points so that you can maximize the rebates that you can receive as a result of developing your shopping group. Now, when I put this together, there was kind of 4 criteria we were looking at. Number 1 was that we had to have a fair system for our members. We wanted to reward the people who were doing a little more, but we also had to have a system where we could share, because that's part of what the club is all about. So we do have the fair system where people do get rebates according to their personal shopping, the size of their group, and the amount of shopping that their group does, which you can see in that top line here. But also the sharing part comes in 2 parts. The first, where we talk about the shared array, that's on the first $10 rebate that's generated. And you can only have 3 that you can connect directly to you, then all the rest of your people have to go below there, so you're helping someone else build up at least their shared array. But the last part of the system is something that became a big benefit that I didn't even see when I was putting all this together, how great that was going to be. It's a big plus about the rebate system, and that is the enhancements and how they help everybody generate more rebates, no matter where you're at in the scheme of things. The more we all do, the more we all gain, and I love those type of systems. The other thing we wanted to have was something that would be enough to create good community prosperity. And because we started with maybe everybody doing 100, and that would generate a $10 rebate at 10%. But we said, well, that's great, but let's see if we can do better than that. So we developed the whole overage system, which was $50, which we go up to, and then again the enhancements go beyond that. I mean, that's going to make a big difference inside the economy. Next was that we wanted to distribute all of 100% out, and that's where the point system came from. And I'm very pleased the way everything worked out, the way it's been programmed. Thanks to Hans for doing all the programming, and Frank working on bringing all the wonderful merchants in. I will also say, though, you need to see the future, because I'm going to talk about that there's so much more coming, and that's when we talk about some numbers here. You might think they're a little large, but I have no doubt about it that we'll all be able to hit these type of numbers in terms of personal shopping. We started with the upper end being 50. I'm going to show you how I believe that it's really going to settle in between 50 and 100 per member, mature member, as they keep going, which again will benefit everybody in the enhancement program. So let me just go through this pretty quickly, and I'm just going to point out the key aspects of it, and then you have to go and play with this yourself so that you really get to understand it. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to just follow the steps. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, you can see here. And each step has a full description that you can read about if you like, or you can just see the results by doing what it says. So this one first says, enter the amount of rebates you and your shopping member regularly expect to generate with Worldwide Shoppers Club merchants. Well, I'm going to say that you're going to just do $20, and I'm doing that for a purpose, and you don't have any shopping members yet. And the reason I did that is you can see up here that you're getting $10, because this tells you that you're always going to get 50% of your own personal rebates. Now, as a global member, it's 50% of your own personal rebates until your shopping member rebates are higher. You're going to get the higher of the two. Shopping members themselves always get 50%. So if we had one shopping member here and they were also doing 20, and by the way, that we put that in as a default, that each shopping member we have is going to have 20, but they get 50%, and so that would be an extra $10. So now that would add on to your 20 and 10, so you would have a total of $30 going into the rebate pool, and that's how that works. That's how you could decide. And we're going to stop there, because we want to come back to this and show you the differences as you add more shopping members. So right now you're doing 20 and you've got 1 shopping member. By the way, as far as a shopping member goes, remember, shopping members can introduce other shopping members, which will actually increase the rebates for the global member, but we're only going to look at the personal shopping members and get the 50%. They get 50%, you get 50%, and that's all we're going to calculate in this, just for ease, okay? So here you are now, because you've done 30, then you're up to 50, because that's 50% of what you did. Now, what you want to do here next, it says estimate the number of active members that will be in your shopping circle. Well, right now you've got 0, and that's why you're there. So say you had 1. If you had 1, that means you would get 25%. Or if you get 2, that means you get 50% of all the rebates that you're eligible for. And if you get 3, then you're going to get 100% of all the rebates you're eligible for, and that is going to make you free. Now the reason that this hasn't changed because you really don't have much of a shopping group yet. So that's the next thing. And then we can scroll down here. Estimate the number of active members that will be in your shopping group in 2 years. Well, I'm going to put in our number of 200, okay? And now you can see you've got $281. Let me just back up here and say, well, if you only had 2 in your shopping circle, that would be less, 140. If you had 1, that would be less, 70. But you had 3, so you're getting all the rebates you're eligible for with a group of 200. So that's what you've done. So you might say, well, why isn't that larger? At 200, it seemed to be about the same. Nothing seemed to change very much there. That's the optimum rebates. Well, the reason is because you haven't put anything in here yet in terms of the size of your group. Remember, it's 3 criteria. We just talked really about your personal shopping. Now, how big is your group? Well, it's 200, but how much shopping is your group member doing? Remember, there's 3 criteria. You know, if you say these 200 people are there and they're active, well, then 100% of them are in the $10 pool, which is the shared pool. Then you start talking about getting into overages, which we won't go into all details here on that, but how many people of these 200 will go to 20? And right now, we kind of have a set of numbers that we use, and that's 85. And then I went ahead and just filled in the rest of them, and that's 65, 50, and 30%. 200 people, that would be 60 people that actually are generating at the $50 level. And it's just an example. You can change these any way you want to. So now you can see you're up to $850 or a total of $6,719. And by the way, if you want to see what that looks like, you can go down here to the results chart. You'll see a graph that lays out the 2 years accumulative over the 2-year period. And this is how much, as you continue to go along, these numbers of people into your group. Now remember, when you're talking about a group like this, though, say here you had to have 13 people added to your group that month. Remember, you had all of the people coming up to there. So maybe there was 170 people. And they were all contributing, and out of the whole 770, 13 more people had to enter your group. So it's not you doing this, it's the whole group is adding to that, all right? And here's the amount you would get from the shared pool, here's how much from the overage pool. So let's go back and look at that overage, because that's an area we need to talk about. Now you're, again, only at the $30 subpool. Now in order to receive money from a subpool, you've got to be in a subpool. So that means that you will receive money from the 10, the 20, and the $30 subpools. Not only that, you will get boosters. When you're at the 10, you're only going to get 75% of whatever the amount of rebates is generated. Then you're going to get 85% cumulatively, and then you're going to get 90% cumulatively because you're at that $30 level. But you're missing out on the $40 and the $50 pool because you're not there. So we have 2 ways to get you there. Number 1, you can go up here and you can personally do $10 more in rebate generations, which would put you at 30. And notice that extra $10 added quite a bit to your monthly amount of rebates that you receive and the amount over the 2 years. Or you could also bring on 1 more shopping member, which generates another 10. There you are, you're at the top 50. Now you can see that you're getting 95% at the $40 subpool and 100% at the $50 subpool. And as a result of having 2 shopping members and doing $30 yourself, then you got to the $50 pool. Okay, and that's with all of these numbers set up the way it is. So you're at $1,200. So you can see. Could you see the difference? Let me just take away these zeros and make this a 0 again to bring you back down to 30. So that's $851, okay? Put this 2 back in here, all the way up. That's an extra $400 plus just by bringing on 2 shopping members. So that makes a big difference. I really want you to play with this and get how much difference it is not to go to that $50 pool. You need to get there either through shopping members or through getting there by yourself. All right, now let's go move forward. Now you're at 1,200, but let's suppose you could have a bigger group. Sometimes we use a group the size of 1,200. Okay, over 2 years, could you develop a group of 1,200? I don't know. That's for you to decide and put in the number you want to. But if you did have 1,200, now you'd be at $6,004, and you would have received $49,000 over the 2-year period. So here's what that looks like on a graph, and here's all the information that tells you exactly what have to happen, where it comes from. The color codes match up here. This is overage, and this is the shared array, etc. All right, so let's go back here because we want to move on because you're going to, play with it after. So Now we've gone from $0 to $50 pool, but I'm going to propose here that there's going to be many, many more products and services coming, and some of them are going to be very easy, and some of them are going to be very desirable, and we're going to easily get to $50 ourselves, and they're going to be so easy for people to do that we're easily going to bring on maybe 5 shopping members, and that will get us to $100. Now we can either do $100 ourselves, or we can do it as a combination of our personal shopping and shopping members. But I think this is going to become more the norm. So if that becomes more the norm, that means all of these numbers should increase, and now we need to figure out how many people in our group is going to be in each one of these areas, okay? So we can do a calculation. Well, how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to drop these down by 10% in each one of these. Okay, so I just plugged in all those numbers. We went from 90 to 50 in this first group, and then we went from 50%, 40, 30, 20, and 10%. Only 10% of your group at 1,200 is doing $100 in a rebate generation, and like that would be 12 people out of the 1,200. So it could be reasonable as we see how this works over here and gets better. What that does though, these are enhancements. That's why they're in purple. You'll always see everything regarding to do with enhancements in purple. And what this is that increased the size of the pool by 27% that everybody gets to share in. And again, that's that beautiful part about this enhancement program. I love it because this is where the higher shoppers are helping the newer people coming in. Because even if you were brand new at a $10 sub pool, you would be receiving more as a result of the people who were generating more rebates, because of the enhancements is paying out 27% more than it was before. So you've now gone from $6,000 to $9,531. And look at the difference here, up to $77,000 over the 2 years. We'll just show you that as a result. And what this is this is the enhancement amount here. Now this doesn't show up here because this is a different type of enhancement. These numbers are actually contained in the regular type of thing because it's a larger pool. Okay. Now there is another type of enhancement, and I'm going to go back and show you that right now. And what that is special things that happen, and we talk about them in the presentations. If you go to the everything video, I talk about what if we sold advertising to our merchants? What if we saved money from the digital currency? There's other services that are going to come our way that are just not practical to give out as rebates. But remember, we're not for profit, so we have to put that all in the pool. So what we want to do here is say, well, let's suppose we had a $10 over time. Those could work out to be $10 per member, the size of the enhancements that are coming in. And that would now bring us up over $11,000. But we believe over time, and I'm not going to say when, but these could actually go up to another $10 in enhancements, which now you notice that's not this 27%. That's done because of the extra shopping. This is more enhancements from the club activity itself, having to put more rebates into the pool for us all to share. Now that's $13,000 at 1,200 people. This is unheard of, and again, this is not going to happen overnight, but I believe we're going to get there. I wouldn't be showing it to you. So this is what this will look like. Now it's $105,000 over the 2-year period, which would make a big difference. And again, this is 1,200 members on a $25 membership fee, 3 it's free, etc. That's the potential for where we're going with this. Now just before we leave the calculator, there's one more page here, and that just basically goes over the write-up of the basics of the rebate program. Of course, there's lots of videos and everything like I said. All right, so that's pretty much it. Now let's leave on a little bit of a high note. Let's suppose you decide that you could get 5,000 members over the next 2 years. Well, that's the type of rebates that you would come in. And again, there's no limit to that either. Keep plugging numbers in. You can see wherever you want to go. By the way, this calculator is built on the models I was generating when I was developing the rebate system. So it's fairly accurate. I don't like it when people just say, oh, well, you get 5 and 5 and 5. It doesn't work that way. So you guys get to play with this and put your own expectation down, set your own goals, and that's the purpose of the calculator. And I hope that helps you understand it more. But now, when it starts to happen, you can go back here, plug some more things in, and see how you're doing. And that's it. Talk to you later. Hope you enjoy, and all the success in the world I wish for you.